we do are fundamental thoughts. Okay, so pass pro is not passive. Everything we do is violent. It's not a sit back type of thing. We're always trying to play with our cleats in the ground. So we're not going to be on our toes. We're not going to be on our heels. We're going to be more flat-footed in everything we're doing. We talk a lot about the hip leverage, whether we're anchoring or doing different things and changing leverage so that we can get under the defender. We use our hands as weapons. They're heavy. We don't play with feelers. And one thing about us is, we're always coaching our feet. Our feet always put our body in position to strike. So if our feet stop, we're dead. We're in trouble. The biggest other thing to do, we want to play longer than as long as we can. So whether we're playing, with our hands and playing with timing of our strikes and different things like that, we want to play as long as we can and use those hands and arms as steel bars in pass protection. And then the other thing is, if he gives us chest, we're going to take chest. And so this is some of our regular, our fundamental things these are non-negotiable things that we talk about. And then lastly, everything we do still in pass protection, we want to play square. If we turn when we're striking a lot, we're going to be in trouble, creating short edges and different things like that. So the first thing that, that we kind of talk about, other than our feet, you have to have great eyes. So, there's some things where we're looking, one thing I wanted to kind of just dive in and kind of see is, where our eyes are when we're man setting. This is going to be, a little crash course in kind of how we do things here. So the biggest thing that we talk to our guys about is having a plan pre-snap. So first off, if I'm playing tackle and I'm man setting on the man side of a protection, I'm going to first look at, okay, where is the defensive end or defensive lineman I'm setting? Where is he aligned? Is he wide? Is he tight? Is he a loose shade? Where is he? Okay, so like right here, this is our left tackle. He's got a fairly loose 5 on him, where almost down here, this guy is a wide 5. Obviously, this is a looser 5 here to a wide cocked in 5 up here. And the thing about it is they're all different. Because the next part that is different is, where are their feet? How are they positioned? So like up here, he's more balanced. He's got a 2-way go, more so, or one that can go right through me. So right now the tackle's plan is changing. Same thing on this one right here, but his left foot is clearly further staggered back, where this kid's more balanced. You can get a flatter step over here, where this one is going to probably come, directly across or vertically. Down here, you got a wide 5 with an inside foot up. So right now, he's going to have to step vertically with his right foot, all right, or he'd have to change his feet and false step, which, that's a whole nother concept. And then over here, you got a wide rusher with a staggered foot with also, he can go vertical or cross my face or down the middle. So he's got multiple rushes here, okay? The other thing that we talk about is, okay, where are their shoulders? Where is the defensive end shoulders pointed? Are they vertical? All right here, okay? So that it's going to be harder for him maybe to go inside, or he's got to work up and in. Okay, same thing here. You're getting more of a speed rush right here versus any type of bull, or you could get a speed to a bull instead of right directly coming right at me. He's got to go vertical and then bull me, so you're going to have time. This guy's got cocked in shoulders, so he can go right through my soul right now, and you can kind of X off the speed rush here that he's going to beat you to the spot because he's tilted in with his inside foot back. You're not going to get the speed rush over here. Same thing over here probably. Okay, so, off all those things, then the last question you can answer is, okay, what rushes am I Xing off? So you can take, all right, where his alignment is, how his feet are, and where his shoulders are tilted to kind of see how what sets you need to take and what rushes that you can X off. And that's something that we talk to all of our guys when they're man setting. First thing I'm looking at, how wide this guy is off of me. Okay, which foot is back, where are his shoulders, what's his demeanor, so I can X off these certain rushes and know, right here, he knows on this one to the bottom left, I got to win to the spot probably. And if not, I got to be ready to gear down for a bull rush. where like all of these, you can angle set a lot of these, especially these top two, based on because of what he's giving away. Angle set or go angle, then get ready to a power or a hop, whatever your bull rush counter is on these top ones. And then down here, all right, you know he's got a speed rush demeanor. Okay, so you could maybe do like a drag set or some type of thinner, not as wide angle set, and then be ready, okay, because he could redirect right at the snap and go inside, but he'll be a half second late on it. Okay, and that's one thing that we talk to all these guys on our man sets about. All right, and coach, if you got any questions, just holler at me and cut in. Okay, now if we're in the slide side, so we have multiple protections. We got slide man protections, we got man pros, we got a bunch of different stuff. So like right here, if we're sliding to the left on this top picture, all right, our tackle now, he's not truly, he might be a man set, but he might not be based on how we teach the tackle. So we're called what we call as a mid-set team in the slide. So we're setting more to the middle of these areas and we're not an overset team at all. I think with the overset, with us, we will kind of not cut people loose, but not help each other as much in the slide where I want to work, a 3-for-2 concept, or if there's only 2 rushes, I want to help each other. And when you overset, there's a lot of times that you just overset and you kind of keep on going at tackle, and that 5 just goes. You can get 2 in the gap. You can get some different things that happen. So we say we're a mid-set team. So we're looking to set the spots, but we're with more of a man set concept in the slide. The first thing our tackle is going to look at, okay, other than this 5 on it that's right next to him, is he's going to find the safety to the field if we're sliding to the left. All right, and we're going to look, all right, is the safety capped over the nickel or not? If he is capped over the nickel, you are definitely going to have to mid-set because you got most likely some sort of nickel fire pressure. If he is inside leverage of the nickel, you can most likely now you can X off the nickel fire pressure, and then now you have to worry about the next part of the stack, which would be the mic call to the slide side. So you got the 5 and the mic if you got inside pressure, inside nickel here. Inside safety here. If the safety is capped, now you're mid-set. If the safety is not capped like he is here, you're thinking on man set the 5, especially if this mic backer here, whoever we declare as the mic, is not in any type of blitz concept or not out of the A gap. You're getting more base defense stuff. So the tackle can choose now when he man sets or mid sets to the slide. So if he mid sets it, it's because we're probably getting a pressure. If he man sets it now, which means he's working more knee to crotch, stuff like that, it's because we're Xing off an outside pressure to the field pre-snap. Now, don't get me wrong, if they move, his eyes are still going to get out because he's still responsible for the widest rusher in the slide side. Okay. The other thing we want to talk about is for the center and guard is where is the mic, okay, and then where is the nearest defender to my gap. So if I'm the guard and we're working a slide call to the left, the number 5 is the mic or the point of the protection, whoever we declare. Well, right now he's stacked, okay, so you're thinking he's, okay, possibility if this guy was tight, if the 5 was tight, you're probably getting a pinch. If not, he's probably going to expand it quick. So you're going to drag hand. All right, but you need to know now that even though this 5 is wide, he still has the ability to have a 2-way go. The 5 technique has a 2-way go based on where the declared mic's alignment is. So our guards need to know all of that pre-snap right away. Okay, and that's kind of how we just teach the eyes pre-snap and everything we're doing. Okay, now, so we're going to jump into some stuff. So basically everything that we drill is going to fit in, whether it's a 5-man protection where we're more of a man concept, or we're going to be in a slide man, 6-man concept. All these stuff are drills. There's things that we want to work every day. Okay, the 5 things that we're going to work every single day in some form of protection individual will be, we're working set drills, we're working striking drills, we're working a redirection of your set, we will work counters, and we will work either setting movements or stopping a twist, okay? So we will work some sort of those 5 things every day. So you're at least going to get 5 pass protection drills, no matter what, non-negotiables every day, period. Okay. And the biggest thing that our kids have to know early is the game starts from the ground and works up. So our feet, like I tell you all, I already said it once, our feet will put our body in position to strike. All right. And then on top of that, all of our offensive linemen here must understand what the drive concept is. And, basically all that the drive is really just understanding what your inside foot or opposite foot of where you're posting is going to be driving your body. So there's some different things we'll talk about that. The other thing that we're going to talk about, it's just still in order. Our kids will get certain stuff like this in their O-line manuals. And then we were talking about eyes, I want them to understand this, every day, understand, the types of rushes we're getting that we talked about earlier and hit. But I'm just showing you guys what our guys get before we get into the individual stuff. Our guys will get this to understand, if I'm a guard, a tackle, I'm a center, where my eyes need to be, if we're looking at the inside shoulder point of the defender, it's kind of building on what we talked about earlier, but our guys will get all this stuff. They're going to know how to build our sets, okay? So, they will get all this stuff. It looks wordy because it's really detailed, but that's why we have the pictures and different things in there to understand when we don't use all of these, don't get me wrong. But they understand our sets are built off of a number system for the most part, and then we have some, some words and some different things that they just understand. But they will know based on the alignment, which is what we talked about earlier, what type of set they were going to take. And they will get all of these, day one, if they're the postman and what type of set they're taking. If they got a 4-eye or 4, and he's not aggressive, what type of set. If he's got a shade on the center, what type of set we have to take. If we got a head up 4, what we need to do with our feet. Our guys are going to know that day one. So how we build the set. The first thing is we talked about, we start from the ground. So this is like OTAs. Like this is not, big team activities, So this is kind of like this is early on. We're trying to figure it out. Guys are going to be wearing whatever. They're just out there getting extra work. Obviously, mask, COVID. We're watching this guy on the left here. Okay, so we're teaching the drive concept. So how we start from the ground up. Okay, so what we're trying to do on the drive concept, just for this, if we're driving on an angle back on our set, okay, not vertical, but more on like a one set angle, which means we're taking one 45-degree angle, okay, our inside foot is going to really dictate the direction of our set, okay? So he can decide if he's going to push more off the ball of his foot, off the instep of his foot, okay, and he can change this foot up on the angle to push his body in a direction, okay? And the other thing that we do, we strike with independent hands, okay? So if we're striking kind of with our near arm, so if I got a 5 over here, we're going to call that a long arm, okay? If we're striking with our inside hand, that's more of a lever concept, okay? So what we're trying to do, we're trying to drive and load our inside knee a little bit over our toe, drive and load our inside foot, okay, and drive on the angle of a 45-degree angle, get used to where our foot needs to be, all right, and then we want to stay as square as we can and still keep a high hand, low hand demeter, all right, and the biggest thing is that he opened his gate here when he caught with his backside foot, all right, so right there, we're not as square as we need to be because the first one he did in a while. All right, and his elbows are a little too wide. He needs to snap them in a little bit tighter, okay? And you need right here, you want to take your right hip and you want to rotate it forward to close your gate and snap this knee in and cup this outside shoulder, okay? Because right there, he might give up a soft shoulder possibly. And the other thing that he's not doing well is that when he's catching on his drive concept with his outside leg, all right, his feet need to stay hot, okay? And so right there, his demeanor of his back and his arms are okay, but he needs to cup his shoulder, all right, and he needs to close his gate and keep his feet hot. So, like right here, he does, this is like the next day, all right, his hands are a little bit better, all right, he's loading his front side leg to the ball of his foot and instep that he wants to drive off of. He's cupping his shoulder. You could see him develop from a day ago or 2 days ago. All right, and then he's keeping his feet hot and he's square in his sit. Still though, the biggest thing is he needs to snap his hip in again, but his feet are hot. And then the other thing is when you're coaching guys with their hands, you see how his fingers are closed, not fisted, but they're They're not open, so we want to have our freaking hands open, all right, and play and have big bear paw hands. All right, so right now he's got no bear paws. His hands are closed. He needs to open that so he's playing with heavy hands and not freaking feelers. Okay, but this is just kind of the first thing that we'll start with teaching these guys. All right, now these guys are rookies. Like this is a freshman. This guy's a sophomore. This kid's a puppy. You know, just got here. This is the first time he's kind of ever doing it. Obviously, he's dying out there. But he's really low on his knee, just trying to learn how to drive. So he's driving and catching, but you see how his hips came far back. He's got no anchor. All right, so right now he's susceptible to, right now he's going to get a bull rush and be in trouble. All right, because he's got no anchor, his knee's out, he's not cupping it in, and he's not on his insteps, and he's not flat enough with his outside foot. You see how he's opening that hip right there? We're susceptible to any short edge right here now. So right there, we're in trouble. Okay, now it's the first time he ever did it. He's low setting thumbs together. We need to have an outside hand higher, inside hand is more of a lever, and then that'll help us to be more square with our shoulders. What I said, I mean, he's a rookie. This is the first time he's ever done it. Same thing with this guy. First time he's ever done it. This kid's a freshman too. He's from Columbus. You know, he's trying to drive off his inside leg, but his hands are not where they need to be. The good thing about his hands are they're open. Okay, now these two guys were open hands, so they understood that part. He needs to close his shoulder a little bit on the outside and then drive and then anchor on the catch. All right, now he's more on his toes. He's got no anchor. His hips are too high, and he's playing with I call them pterodactyl arm or T-Rex arms. All right, he's not playing long at all. But again, same thing. This is the first time he's ever done this. So I'm going to go over the good and the bad of all these guys. You know, that's what drill tape is to me. So I'm going to fix his outside hand. All right, we're going to get more of a drive concept. And then you want to look, when he's driving, you want to see everything come from this inside leg. He starts to pull with his outside here. And you see how he kind of rocks? And that's because he's trying to shift. He's not used to using his dry leg. You know, there's nothing wrong with he's a good old lineman, but, you know, he was taught differently when he was in high school with us. You know, we're going to do it our way. So we're trying to teach him the way that we're going to do it. Yeah, is it not bad? No, it's fine. You know, if you want to be average or whatever with what he's doing, but there's a lot of stuff to make it to the elite level that we want it with how our system is. You know, he's got a long way to go. But this is the first time he's ever doing it, you know, but the good thing is feet are still moving. They're not dead. All right. To do some other stuff, you know, we'll mirror each other, okay, just to start working some eyes, to get our eyes working instead of working on nobody. And we'll mirror just so that we have a reference point into what we're doing on the drive concept. So you can see both these guys are mirroring each other. All right, playing with hot feet. They're a little more square now in their sets than they were on the air because they're working off a reference point, where earlier they were just working off the air. It's a little tougher. So now they got a reference point of, okay, where am I getting square to? You know, I know we say the line of scrimmage, but giving them a visual target will help them to stay square in their sets, and it's more realistic, to be honest. And so we're slowly building the set. So we will do that stuff. And don't worry about the words and the notes on here. I kind of like sped through them just to make sure I hit some points for you guys. All right, the next thing we'll do this drive and drag drill. We're only watching the guy on the left. The main point of this drill is to see how we can drive and not raise our hips. That's why I do it, okay? So like this guy on the right, we're in trouble here because his hips are already too high. The guy on the left, okay, he's got an inside lever. He's right. The main thing that he did wrong is when he drives, he drops his inside lever with his inside hand. You see how he drops that? So now he's giving up an inside move, okay? Whereas if he keeps that lever layered, okay, the main thing that I'm now looking at is his butt coming up when he's driving. No, it's not. So you want to be able to drive off the inside leg transition, keep all of your feet in the ground like he is doing. All right, and then if you need to change shoulder tilts because you're not 50-50 in your set. So I want to be 50-50 in our sets, but that also means if I feel like I'm too far over on my kick leg or on my post or my drive, whatever it is, I need to change my shoulder position, all right, to get me back to 50-50, okay? So you'll see that with the guy on the left here on the drive and drag, but his hips aren't raising. Your hand should never come off that ball, all right? Now, these guys right here, these are all rooks. First day, you know, we're not even in gear. I mean, it was early. I mean, this is, you know, we're just, you know, ragtag, put your crap on and go out there and work, which, you know, at our place, that's what you do. So they're all working the same thing that this guy was just wearing. This is the first time. So they're going to work driving and dragging with their inside lever hand up. You want to get his hand up. He's already in trouble because it's resting. All right, see, that's why I corrected him probably just right there on it. Okay, which he's driving and then on kicking and post. So now when he's driving, all right, on the kick, it's his inside leg, and then you're going to see him drive to the post, and he's got to transition his drive leg now as the outside leg. All right, right there, you're in trouble on the left because you can tell his hips are raised. That's not what you want. You want to be like, not even like him. You want to be like this guy over here. He's our center. And you want to see, you see how he's able to drive and not raise his hips. Now, don't get me wrong, this kid's he's a real, all these guys are pretty good athletes. He's a pretty elite athlete, actually. Big time wrestler in high school, knows how to use his hips already naturally. All right, but the guys, these first two, the first thing they did was raise up. This guy stayed on his drive. So this one right here, this is right, and these two were struggling on this for their first time. All right, but you're going to see them drive, all right, and not raise leg, and then transition their outside foot to their drive leg on the post. Now, with the guy on the right, he's doing a kick to re-kick concept at center because in our half-man, half-slide stuff, he's a pendulum, so he'll never post. So he's going to be kicking to re-kicking instead of kicking to posting because he's a center. He's the pendulum of our protection, which means he can go either way. The next stuff we'll do then, okay, we did the drive. All right, we did the drive and drag with also the mirror drive before the drive and drag. And now we're doing drive with PVC pipe. So what I do with this, they're going to take sets on air or with people, but I'm looking at their shoulders, okay? And I'm seeing, is their shoulders square? Are they cupped? Are they balanced in their sets? So right here, he's working a short set concept, which we use a short set if we have, either, a loose 5, loose 3. When I want to stop a defender's rush before it can start, we're going to short set it. Okay, so right now, he's thinking short set with my feet. So he's going to get on a line, and he's going to work more of a lateral concept with his feet. It's not a true jump. He's not gaining ground. All right, and he's going to long arm if we were using our hands in this situation. But he's going to stay down this line but keep a stagger, just like that. Okay, you see how he keeps a stagger. He's driving off. Now he needs to know I'm not driving off the ball of my foot. That's bones. Now I got to drive off my instep of my foot. So we're now this knee can snap in a little bit. All right, to push weight off our instep of our left foot to push our body to get more width on the short step while also still staying square and cupping our right shoulder in. And you can see it off of the PVC pipe. So he's going to work lateral, flat on that short set so that if there was a rush right here, okay, and we're coming right there, he's going to meet that intersect it, take more of the man, and be square through him. So the whole point of the short set, like I said, is to stop the rush before it even starts. All right. Now, the other thing that we got to do, don't watch this guy. We're watching the guy in the middle right here. Okay. We got to teach a center, if he's not in a staggered position, that he's in a balanced stance. All right. We have to teach them how to drive and pull and get to a stagger. All right. So if we're setting to our left, all right, and I got a shade on me, and I'm in a man set where I got a 2-eye, and I'm going to get a drag hand from the guard. I need to drive off my right leg and pull with my left to get to a stagger. Say drive, pull concept. You're driving off the ball of your foot through that instep more on an angle back and laterally. Okay, we're trying to get back and laterally into the slide or setting our man based on the situation. So I'm going to drive off the ball and instep of my right foot, pull with my left and stay square, cup my shoulder, all right, and get to that position. Now, we're in trouble again because he's opening his hip. And these are all little things that, these are, guys, I've had this guy for like 3 days. Okay, these are all freshmen. Every one of these kids are freshmen on this screen. The guy in the back right, the 57 and 60 are all puppies, 18 years old. Okay, so the biggest thing is he needs to snap his hip closed, all right, knock his knee in, all right, to learn to help him keep him to play square. All right, now we did some re-kick stuff too, which is probably why he jumped the gun on that. But, that's one thing you have to do. You have to teach the center how to get to a staggered position with a drive pull. All right, now where we work a lot of re-kick stuff because it's always two-way goes and stuff like that. But that's kind of the main thing. Now, shoulders are good. Got to fix his hips. All right. Now, here's one thing we'll set. So if I got a loose 5 and I don't care about, stopping his rush right away before it starts, I will use a 1-set concept, or hey, maybe we're getting a lot of twists, the TEs, and my guard needs to get a hair bit of depth. We'll use a 1-set. Even though I don't care if I'll short set a TE too any day of the week. But I'll also 1-set some stuff. It just depends what type of twist we're getting. So our 1-set, we're going to drive off the instep and ball of our foot on an angle, on 145 angle. All right, and then we're going to hook up and buzz our feet after that 1 angle kick. If it's a 2-set, the only difference is it's a 2 kick angle. All right, but you'll see it's more of a 45-degree angle. All right, it's not a flat short set. All right, we have a little bit of tilt inside naturally that happens. I wish his eyes were up. All right, and I wish he put more of an anchor, but it's not bad. Okay, and he's a sophomore. Here right now, this is a 2-set, so we're gonna get 2 kicks on an angle. So we'll be 2 drives. All right, and we're gonna end up with hot feet and hopefully square shoulders. So we're drive 2-set, hot feet. I just want his eyes up. Right now our eyes are up. We need to have more targets, which is why I do that mirror drill. But this again is still teaching all these different things. All right, this is one of our tackles. The negative here that he's doing a 2-set. All right, and you can see right here, so you saw some decent ones. The negative is the first thing that he does is when he drives, he goes up with his hips. So now we're waist bending, okay? We didn't load our front side knee enough. And so now we're gonna be on our heel of our drive foot. So now we're already off. We're not balancing our set at all. So because we're now driving off our heel and our hips are back, we're definitely going to get bull rushed into China. Okay, so that's one way that, yeah, he's squaring his set, but his hips, all right, and his feet on his drive leg are hurting him in this now. Okay, and you can see that on there. That's the difference between one and the other. So like I said, I'm going to give you good and bad. All right, so now with no pipes, all right, we're going to build the set. We start with a man. So if we had a tight 5 or tight 3, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to teach them how to 0-set. So we're going to pick up our outside foot and put it down. All right, we're going to quicken our inside foot, and we can't independent strike on a 0-set. You got to bring your hands right away. Okay, so right now we're going to bring our hands right away, pop our feet, and we want to bring our hands right away. All right, you don't want to go double, you don't want to go single. You want to bring them right now from the ground. You want to tuck your chin. All right, and you want to keep your feet out, and you're going to take more of the man in this rush. There's no way you're going to take 7/8 of them no matter what. You can't take half a man on a 0-set. He's already tight on your body. So right now you got to know when I freaking 0-set this guy and bring my hands, my post foot has to stay high. Period. All right, or I'm going to be in trouble. Okay, so that's when we start with a 0-set. Okay, got to bring your hands right away. You can teach it like a double under or a scoop concept with your hands, whatever your terminology is. But the minute those hands are sitting there striking, you're tucking your chin, you want to anchor your hips and keep your feet hot. Now, this is an older guy. He's a pretty technical guy. You'll watch some of this stuff right here. The guy we're watching right here is on the right. Now, his negative, he doesn't anchor. All right, he's going to set the man, scoop it, all right, on the double under, all right, but he doesn't have that good of an anchor there. You can see how his butt comes out. All right, so these are all, good sets, bad anchor. All right, they're bringing their hands the right way. He's tucking his chin. He's balancing his set, but he is not anchoring. So right there, we're in a little trouble, okay, with our hips. All right. Now, here's another look at, so we did the 0-set, okay. The next thing we would teach him would be the short set, okay. And we looked at some of these on air. The biggest thing with this guy, I'm just showing you guys how to drill this. We want to drill it flat on the line like we talked about earlier. All right, and really see it. You can see how he's came a kind of pretty good ways from the first time we did it. Still got to get that hand under control to layer it inside with the lever. All right, but he's flat. His hips, look at his hip is much more square. All right, and his shoulder is much more cupped. So now he's squarer in his set. All right, and that's where kind of he's came from that first ones we looked at. All right, he's just still trying to figure it out, but he needs to understand how to use his inside instep of his leg a little bit more. All right, but he's pretty square in his set. All right, so we're not really giving a short edge. All right, right here, if you want to watch, here's another guy. This is my tackle. Now we did the 0-set with him. Now we're doing the short set. All right. So he's going to really, so what we were working with him is, he likes to really load up his inside leg. Well, the way he loads up, he does it, is he likes to tilt his shoulder. All right, which the problem with that is that's a tell for a defender. All right, so then that means now we have to coach the outside shoulder to cup it and teach him how to play it square so he's not giving it away. So he's loading the inside shoulder to help him with his knee bend over his foot, but then he's going to cup his outside shoulder, all right, so that he doesn't give a tail. You'll see his shoulders move, a tail to the defender. All right, and all he's working right here is flat off his insteps, working a short set with active hands, playing long and flat with his eyes. So he's right there. He's thinking of defenders right here. I wish his eyes were a little bit up, but he's flat on his set. All right, he sometimes loses a little bit of ground because he plays with wider guys at tackle, but you'll see how active his body is in his hands. He's balanced. Everything's on his insteps. He's square, all right, and he's active, rooted in the ground. He's also an older guy. Okay, the next set we'll do will be a one set, which is a 145-degree angle, being on a loose 5. I don't care about stopping his rush before it starts, anything like that. And the biggest thing is I don't rest our elbows or our forearms on our thighs. We do the butt of our hands so we're balanced in our stance, 50-50. All right, so right there he's trying to drive off his inside leg to a 45-degree angle, one set, but I want to, same thing. The biggest thing we're coaching is how to keep that hip squared and that shoulder cupped. It's the same issue with him. All right. Now I don't really like his hands like that. I don't like him just sitting out there in China. But you know, his feet are okay. Need to work to cup his shoulder and close the gate in his hip. All right. Some other stuff that will work is just teaching how to drive on the post. All right. We're working flat post here. Okay, all the way down the line, teaching that the drive leg. This could be a hard post concept, a quick game concept, whatever you want to teach, but keeping our eyes to our gap. The guy up top is doing a drag hand coil concept. Okay, we do both. And the two guys in the back are going hands to their gap. All right, and we tell them pre-snap kind of what their look is. If you got a guy on your backside, you're going to be a drag coil guy. If you got nobody in your backside, you're going to be double hands to your gap guy with your eyes. All their eyes are to their gaps. Their drive leg is their outside leg, and they're going to flatten out the post. Not getting, you're going to flatten the post, all right, with the inside of that instep of that shoe. And you can see all the way down the line. So, all right. Now, so that you've hit the 0 set, the short set, the 1 set. The 2 set would be anything with 2 kicks. We'll get to it in a second. And then we also teach the dragon set. So a dragon set is basically if we're getting a lot of twist games or different things like that, or 4 eyes, we're going to drag our inside hand, work more vertically, not crazy vertical. We can still come off the line. All right, drag our inside hand, play with the long arm to our outside defender so that if we get a twist, or any type of movement, we can use our inside hand to help on the twist and then long arm with our outside hand. So you're going to see them really, both our tackles load their knee. Okay, they're going to drag their inside hand, all right, and they need to get their outside hand up higher. So, like, that's why I circled here. His long arm is in trouble. His drag hand is good. I'm in the way, and so is this guy, but he needs to be more lower with his hips, all right, and be ready to long arm with that outside hand. All right, now we'll take it to the next level. We'll go drag. All right, drag hand with your right hand inside. He needs to get his outside hand higher. All right, so, hey, we've taken 3 kicks. We're past the quarterback, all right, and they're speed rushing. Now I need to go to a box out concept. Or, you know, some people will run them up. I'll work a snap your hip and box out if he keeps running the hump, and so that the quarterback can step up inside of my tackle back here. So then you can go drag to box out. All right. This is a guy that's unathletic. The biggest thing with him on this stuff, when, you know, our guards will drag some on some odd front stuff, and we'll dual read the guards on different backers. Okay, when you're dragging, all right, you got to be careful. Your hips don't come too high up, and you don't narrow your stance too much. So he naturally does it. He needs to narrow up a hair to get depth with him. By the time he's getting back to, he's got to wind that back out. All right, but he's just learning how to do this. All right, he'll do this at guard to drag on the nose and then read like a dual read somewhere out, 1 to 2 on the backers. Okay, but that's a drag concept that will work all the time. Same thing, mirror drill. We did these the other day. You know, obviously this is off of the 1 set with tackles. They're going to mirror and long arm across the board. Now this time you can see our tackles long arm is much better and it's higher. All of them are. You can see that there. They're getting a little bit better with their hand carriage as we go. All right, but they're going to be very balanced in their sets. All right, obviously we already talked about the kick to re-kick stuff. You know, and I'll be them guy. If we have like a quick 2 minutes before we go, we'll man set on me, all right, and work their bodies, at least work kick to re-kick to stop a second move. Okay, and that's just how we teach the feet. All right, the next thing that we go to next is teaching the strike. All right, so one of the first things we do a timing strike drill. All right, now the biggest thing, we're going to independent strike this. The biggest thing on this drill you're trying to do, we're trying to tuck the chin, anchor the hips, keep hot feet. All right, and we still want to be more low to high with our strikes. So you don't want to just put that hand out there. That's what I'm trying to fix on them. All right, you just don't want to play it out there. You want to go low to high, and then when we're striking, you want to go thumb out with all of my hand and violently on that ball. Okay, all of your hand. I don't like his head. I want to tuck it. All right, not pull it out. And you'll see some different guys do it. All right, the other thing that you can see with him, he's going to anchor. I want to keep his feet hot through the strike. You see how he's dying his feet? They need to stay hot through the strike. Like that last one was better. Okay, but you want to stay hot through it. This kid, all right, he's timing his strike, so he's seeing it, using his eyes, timing his striking distance. He's going to tuck his chin. His anchor is not going to be as good. It's decent, all right, but he's going to keep his feet hot just like that. All right, so he's going to time his strike, tuck his chin. You see how his chin's not coming up and it's tucking here. All right, so he's able to see the defender coming into him. Where I feel like if you take your head out of it and pull your chin up, all right, you're going to lose your target. Where if you tuck it, all right, and play long, you can see everything the whole set during the whole set. All right, so we'll start with that drill. All right, we'll also do some just change it up, just to change up double punch to long arm to hot, to make sure we're keeping hot feet through the strike. All right, and just changing up and seeing their eyes so we can judge our striking distance every way possible. So we'll go double punch to long arm to inside lever to out. All right, and that way you can make sure we're still using our feet on the strikes. All right, we'll also do the other thing with these are stuff that the biggest thing with me, I don't want our guys doing the same drills every day. It's monotonous, they get bored. You know, they want to work the same part of your body, but I don't want it to be the same drill. I want to change it up for them, whether it's doing a long arm timing strike drill, or it's doing they're throwing the med ball through the air, an air strike drill, or we're doing like I call this a 2 med ball strike. Now this works timing strike and redirection. Okay, so we're going to go kick on the long arm to flat post inside. Now his post is good because you want to be nose to nose on the post. All right, you want to be more knee to crotch if you're a tackle on the kick, nose to nose on the post. If you're a guard, you want to be more of the man, like 7/8 to nose on the post, 7/8 on the kick. All right, so our guards take more of the man because they set the depth of the pocket, and our tackles are worried about more of the width of the pocket. All right, so you'll see their sets are a little different. All right, now that's better than the last one. He took a little bit more of the man, not good enough. This guy's way better on that part. And then this last one, he gets there, still not good enough on the post. All right, but the post is good over here because he's going nose to nose. We got to get him coached up, making sure he's striking when he's getting to the nose with his inside arm. Now, when I'm long arming, when I'm kicking, my long arm hand is my left and my lever is my right. So I'll go left, right, like this. Now when I'm posting, I want to go right, left. Inside now is the long arm. My outside now is like a lever, and I'm trying to break his ribs. All right, now if you were to get if you get like an inside move, you can go to a wheel technique and flat post it out. All right, but all of this does is just really, shows the different independent striking of our hands and redirection with hot feet. I want to make sure he's not stopping. All right, now this guy needs to slow down, this rookie or this sophomore over here, but you can at least kind of see. I don't like when he does that with his outside hand, that his body's not in position on the last post here. He goes outside first. He has inside. He needs to go inside, long arm, outside, lever. All right, but he's at least square and nose to nose on the post. All right, if you get a guy, this is a buzz and set drill. If you get a guy that when he strikes, his feet die, okay, you have to drill that. All right, so right here, it's going to be ugly as crap. Okay, so right here, we're going to buzz our feet, okay, and he's got to learn to strike and play and reset his hips, all right, from a position so that he was terrible at striking and stopping. So to stop that, you got to go buzz, all right, to then kick and strike, or you're going to get in trouble. Like, you really want to see him strike a little bit quicker. You see how he can't time it up now because he's not used to it. He always kills his feet. So it's going to be ugly every time until he gets used to it. But you're going to work buzz and strike so that he gets used to not stopping his feet, all right, when he's striking. All right, and that's just something that this guy and I would work in the summers, in the spring and different things like that. But you're going to go buzzed, all right, to keep kicking and striking so that we can work. It's going to be ugly, I'm telling you, because he's still not used to it yet. All right, but the point of me just sharing this with you is if you have trouble with a guy that stops his feet when he strikes, this is a way that you can correct it, all right, and get used to it. Okay. All right. Now, the other part of striking is you got to know when you are the drag man in the concept. Okay, so if we're sliding away or to the left here, okay, these are our uncovered players, so they're gap. All right, so this is our center with a backside shade, our guard with a 2-eye in the slide side. Okay, we're going to be a kick, hold, drag concept. Okay, so what that means, we're going to go drive and kick. All right, our eyes are wrong here. Our eyes need to be to the near knee of the 3 technique here, and the near knee of the 5 here, so we're in trouble there. Okay, all right, you're gonna go near knee, then to the mic point. Okay, kick, hold, drag concept, but you got to play with a long arm with your outside hand to make sure if you get a 5 pinch or 3 pinch that you're in position to snap off the drag quicker. Okay, so you go kick, hold, drag concept. All right, oop, it's gonna go. To snap him back underneath. You can see me yelling about his eyes are completely, absolutely wrong. Now, his eyes aren't bad. That's our GA. We have 2 guys. So when we do all this, it's myself and our GA that coach all of it. He does just the same stuff as I do. All right. So we'll get dragged, all right, to our eyes. And the other thing is you want to keep hot feet. Their feet are dead. We're in trouble. All right. So then you got these guys. You got a center. Then you got a right guard. We're going kick, hold, drag. We're going to kick, hold, drag, eyes to our gaps, and then to our ID. Now, he's walked up, so he's thinking the mic's sitting in his face. All right, now if he comes, then we're going to snap off, all right, and play with a long arm. He needs to, again, same issue, he's not square in his set. Okay, so we got to fix his hip. Now, with the center, he's a little bit more square. This was his first year with us. He's a redshirt freshman. All right, he's going to kick, hold, drag. He dropped his long arm, so now he's in trouble. All right, so he's in big trouble right now because you have to then set it back up, snap his thumb back out. All right, but all right, he is more square in his set, getting off on like a mic point pressure or anything like that. All right, right here, we can't drop the long arm. It's the same thing. Everybody's dropping the long arm because they've never done it. All right, so I'm not doing a good enough job coaching this guy. That's obvious. Because the first time he's had to do it, this guy's better with it. You can see his lean until here, all right, to a long arm there. He just cannot drop that, but they are squarer in their sets as the other guys. Okay. All right, so that's all the different types. We have way more than that, but that's some of the stuff that we do a lot in terms of striking. All right, redirect sets. Now, the third thing that we'll do, you can obviously just step up and you can work the old school, just 0 set to post and redirect, all right, and service each other. That's something we can always do. So right here, we're working short set to post to a wheel concept. So he's going short set, all right, he gets to post, all right, goes back across on the pinch. All right, now when I get that pinch, I want to go to a wheel concept with my hands, all right, and push my left hand vertically and pull with my right and wheel his body and stay down the middle of the defender square. All right, and that's what he's working right there, okay? So he's going, all right, kick, post, wheel, all right, and that vices his body. Now right there, you want to stop your feet a hair, not stop your feet, but gear your body down a hair and keep hot feet so that you don't have to go to another move and get a short edge there. Because that's something that can happen. A lot of kids will go kick to post, and then when they post, they'll post past the defender. And what that does is they'll just then go right around to the outside short edge. Okay, so that's the thing you got to be aware of. When you're going that post, I got to stay down the middle of the defender. If I get too far over, we're in deep trouble. Okay. The other thing it's another thing we'll do. Obviously, we worked about earlier going drive, pull to re-kick, drive, pull, kick to re-kick. It's just repping the transition of redirection. So everything's, we're always trying to stop 2 rushes. All right, get them to their second rush is the number one thing you want to do. And always want to work with the center. It's a drive, pull to snap in his shoulder the other way to work into a re-kick. All right, now the thing that he had trouble with when he would go drive, pull, all right, if he needs to re-kick it, he needs to snap his shoulder down and his knee down to push his body there, which he wasn't doing for a while, all right, which is why he would have to take an extra step. So earlier when we first started doing this, he would go drive, pull, and then he would have to take another step. You see how he's not taking a step there? He's going drive, pull, into a re-kick. Okay, so that's the biggest thing. He used to have to take an extra step. I know he took like a little baby one, but it's getting better from where it was. So you want to be able to go drive, pull, stick that foot in the ground to a re-kick, all right, and now you're not wasting any motion. All right, no, like I said, man, this he's a puppy, he's a freshman, but he's figuring it out. All right, the guy on the right is who we're watching here. We're working a mirror drill, so we're working eyes and redirecting, working kicks to post. He's trying to stay on the inside crotch of the man, eyes to the shoulder point of the 5. All right, and then when he goes to the post, he's trying to stay down the middle. He's going to change his hands. He's going to look. You're going to see more of the man down on the post and more of our guy down the post and more of their guy on the kick a little bit. But he's working with his bases being equal and opposite with his feet. So meaning if this foot goes 4 inches, this one's got to come 4 or 3 and 3. Okay, and I want to see him keeping leverage and eyeing the shoulder point the whole time and be able to stay down the middle on the post. All right, and layering him on the kick. All right, we're watching both these guys. All right, they're a redshirt freshman, a sophomore. This guy's really good here at staying balanced. All right, this guy is really good here with changing his hands between long arm and levers. So you can see a good bit of both, but they're both rooted in the ground. All right, now this guy's getting a much better look. He ain't moving real fast over here, so he's got to get his long arm and lever changed. All right, but his feet are moving. He's on his instep. He's rooted in the ground. He's got a good demeanor. Where the other guy is just getting good, solid work, not moving that much sideways, but just layering the defender. He doesn't have a great look, but he's balanced in his set. I mean, you can see it. He's playing off his instep. He's rooted in the ground. He's got a demeanor. Okay, everything like that. These guys are from West Virginia. He's from Ohio. Okay, so that's some of the redirect stuff that we're doing. All right, the other stuff that we got is, we have our counter drills. The first thing that we want to stop when we work in counters, we want to stop a bull rush. There's 2 ways, in my mind, to stop it. Okay, you can hop it out, which we do, or you can walk it out. Whatever one, each guy prefers. So more of this stuff is geared on the hop concept. So the first thing we need to teach our guys is how to hop on air and sprawl and reset their hips and their feet. All right, and the biggest thing they need to understand, they have to sprawl their feet back, but their hip leverage has to change. Okay, and the biggest thing is going from hop, getting on your insteps. You have to sometimes roll your knees back out and snap your ankles and insteps into the ground to change your hip leverage. All right, and stay with inside hands and then go to a drive concept. We call it a hop-off drive. All right, and you can easily walk it out the same way. When you walk and then drive that left leg into the ground, walk, snap it over, drive your right leg into the ground, keeping an arch in your back and your hips, changing your hip leverage down to having an anchor. All right, so I'll do that, and then I'll go hop on air, and then I'll take a PVC pipe, okay, and I'll push their body to make sure, all right, that they're balanced and that they're really driving through the ground with their feet and really activating their glutes and having an arch in their back and being more balanced and up top and then resetting their hips below the defender. All right, and you see how he's clenching there? All right, you'll see his body clench. It's because I'm pushing now, and he's really got to drive everything through his insteps to keep the power underneath the defender. All right, so we'll go hop, and then do that. All right, the other thing we'll go to a standing hop. So they're going to stand straight up. Okay, so they can't play the drill, and then they're going to get bulled. They have to throw their hands now from inside out. All right, sprawl, reset their knees and their ankles. Okay, and reset their hip leverage underneath the defender. All right, which is what he's doing here. Okay, so we're going to go standing, drive, reset the hips. Okay, and that way we can gear out the bull rush there and play with 2 steel bars. All right, here's another one. He does not able. So we'll go to the next one here. This guy's got to really work on rotating his knees back out and snapping through his insteps. All right, so he can change his hip level. His hip level hasn't changed enough here. He's still going to be consistently getting bulled. Now, he's got his knees are driving through his insteps. He's reopened his knees again. All right, and his hips are changing. It's just not changing enough. His hands are inside. All right, and then he will go to a drive concept. Now, he will play rooted through that drive concept when he gets the drive, when he goes hop to drive with his knees coming forward in the drive block. Okay? Especially in a man set, I don't care if we go hop to drive. I don't, especially if we're getting bulled bad and we know we got to get out of there, that's one thing we'll be doing. All right, right here, same thing. This is a rook going hop, hands behind him, snap his hands out. Now, this kid's an athlete, He's got great hips and great feet. And you can see it. And he was a wrestler, so he naturally does some of this stuff. Okay, so he's getting the bull, hop, hop. You can see his knees open up and then reset back down to drive all the way through his instep. Look at his hips. This guy's not tall. He's like 5'11", 6 foot. Okay, and his hips are below his now. And he's not standing straight up on the drive. He's actually driving the guy. So you can see how low this guy has got his hips. Okay, and he does it pretty naturally, but he still has to learn. He never played it. He played always on his toes when he got here. So I'm teaching him how to play through his insteps. But you can see he's going hop, hop right away, resetting his knees, opening them back out, and driving the weight back through his insteps and playing with 2 steel bars, all right, to get inside leverage. And we'll also go like to a hop, hop, chop and different things like that we'll get to here in a minute, all right, or we'll go hop, hop, drive or walk it out. Now, if they can hop, hop, I do. If they can't, then I'll start teaching the walkout concept. You know, it's whatever. I mean, to me, it's a player's preference. We'll teach both, whatever each guy's good at. All right, this is your Joe Pendrick, Alabama stick drill right here. So the thing when we go to the stick drill, we're trying to simulate, you know, like a push-pull concept, the simulation of a tough rush. All right, now we'll tell our guys that the ones that are, you know, they need to make sure their thumbs are open. All right, when you're getting on the pull concept, we need to generally just try to work to keep our stagger. All right, and we can work hops or walkouts on the bull. So right here, this my GA. This kid's he's not weak now. He's like 6'3", 280. I mean, he's pretty twitchy D lineman for us. He's just done now. All right, so we're gonna try and work to keep our stagger on the pull concept. All right, squeeze our elbows together. All right, so when you're getting any of this on the strike, I want to squeeze my elbows together. All right, to create 2 steel bars. So right there, we're trying to squeeze our elbows together, keep the stagger, all right, and then work the hop, hop. And so we're losing it on the hop a little bit, but as long as we're able to keep the stagger on the pull, we'll be okay. All right, and he's trying to keep him out of his body. It's tough. It's supposed to be a tough drill. It's not supposed to be pretty. So right here, this kid's never done it. Okay, so he's going to bull. You can see he's on his heels. He's in trouble. All right, but he's trying to keep his stagger and then all the way through. But he is trying to create steel bars and keep his thumbs out and get his elbows together here. All right, and he's slowly walking out. So now you've seen that we can teach a walkout concept, a hop concept. Now he's starting to get, what's happening is he's not playing with steel bars, so he's gonna get thrown around like a rag doll. All right, the minute you lose steel bars and you start playing on your heels, you're done. All right, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's a strong cat. I mean, he ain't soft with it. But you can kind of see good and bad there. All right. The other thing we do, you know, the next of the other counters we'll do, okay, if we're working, you know, hand combat, stuff like that. Brice Carlson, who works with like Aaron Donald and all those pass rush specialist guys, he's a West Virginia State alum. So he'll invite us up there and, you know, we'll talk and I can get on the phone with him whenever I want. But he, you know, he does all the Krav Maga football combatives, the Israeli hand fighting system. So a lot of this stuff and how we use our hands and our pinkies and our thumbs and how we're striking when we're getting like, you know, low hands, high hands, if we're working like a block chop concept, I've kind of took from like his details of the technique itself from him. So that's what these guys are working. The biggest thing that you want to do when you're blocking or chopping a defender's hands, when you block, right there, we're on a block concept, driving with our left hand, our wrist and pinky through, you want to slide your left hand back up his arm. So like if he goes for the outside shoulder, you block it. You don't want to reset it out. You want to slide it back in and go right down his arm. And that way you don't lose inside hands ever. With a lot of people, they'll go block and then they'll reset it. Well, when you reset, that way your hands sometimes come out. We want to slide back up the body. So he's going to go block to slide up and reset. Block, slide up, reset, block again. We'll change up chop, slide up, reset, block, slide up, reset, chop, slide up, reset. You see how he's not pulling his hand back out? He's sliding it up the body. And I think that's one of the biggest things that, you know, we do a good job of is understanding we're not going to waste that movement there on the counter. All right. And the other thing is he's not jumping at the defender. Yeah, you're aggressive, but he's not taking his shoulders and his head into the defender here. I know I'm in the way. But you can kind of see every way that we do that. All right, so that's just some different ways that we'll work, some hand fighting counters, stuff like that. We do more of that. We'll do double, we'll do single, we'll do low, high. I mean, we'll change it up, everything we do. All right, but you guys can kind of see some of it. And I'm talking about really how he needs to drive, all right, on that chop, where to hit it and how to drive it through with your ulnar bone through the defender's hand to get it off. Okay, and you can, I mean, we'll coach that up. All right. If you're not going to block chop, if you're worried about okay, I don't want to chop his hands when they go for me. I can swoop around it. So if they go, they come to chop here, I can go swoop if I got time, all right, and I got space from between me and the defender, all right, and I can time this up. I'll go swoop, all right, to reset. All right, so if they're going to chop my hands, but I got time now, he's not in my grill, so I'm setting in my spot and I see it coming, okay, I'll go swoop to reset. All right, and that's what the guy on the left, he's going to swoop to reset. Okay, and you can do this with one independent hand or double hand. So when I was coaching here, this is at West Georgia, we were double punching more, and then we were just getting into the independent hands. So like we had certain times we used independent hands. Now I'm more independent, less double. We were more double, and then got to started getting into independent hands here. But we had like strict rules about when to use both. I mean, when to use either one. But right here we're working double swoop to reset, and then you'll see an anchor. All right, and that's just another type of counter that you can teach. Right here you're working double chop to reset and anchor. All right, and you can do this with all 5 and just do it on command as long as you get a good group that pays attention. All right, you can do all that stuff. You're going double chop. And it's just, all these are different hand things that we will work, every day. But that's kind of the hand counter, stuff like that. There's some other stuff you can do, like with our rip and swim. I just don't have it on film, but that we'll do with, you could even go like, if they go to grab, you can go some block chop stuff to pinning with your hands, like stopping a rip on an inside pinch or stuff like that. All right, so there's one thing with twist that we talk about, okay? When you're getting twist, all right, you're always going to have a looper and you're always going to have a penetrator, okay? So you got to know if you got the looper and you got to know if you got the penetrator. Okay, so right here, this is social distance work right here, all 5, okay? We were, at this point in time, I don't think we could really touch anybody. So we weren't allowed to touch. Everyone had to stay kind of far apart. So I had to get creative how to work twist. So what we did, I would set them up on a post or a kick based on what position you were and what rush you had, and I would tell each guy what they had. All right, so like our tackle, I told him, and our guard, I'm like, hey man, we got post concept. You're going to get a looper call on a man set, and then you have to pass the penetrator, which would be the ball, over and up and stay square, and then snap off on your angle. With the guards, it's a flatter angle. With the tackles, it's a sink and accept vertical concept. All right, and so we're going to, what I'm doing right here, I'm yelling looper. Okay, and that's I'm explaining. You can tell there's a little confusion on the right side. There's 2 guys. There's all 5 are up. Okay, we're yelling. They're going to go post and kick. I'm going to yell looper. Okay, and that looper tells them that now they can pass a penetrator over and up to help the adjacent offensive lineman next to me. Okay, I am the looper now, so I'm going to start running to work their eyes. So then I'm going to run, so then they can snap off. The tackle's going to sink and accept. All right, you want to sink more, you want to kick more flat on this angle, okay? The guard is too deep, the tackle is really good here, the center's fine. All right, but you want to go looper, 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 explode out, pass penetrator over and up after I'm yelling looper, and then I'm going to run as the looper so that they can set me, all right? And it's just, honestly, it's just a way to get them, moving, understanding the concept that when you got the looper call, you have to pass the penetrator vertically so that I can snap off on my set, all right, to take that next player, because you got the penetrator. So I can throw that penetrator. The whole point of this is I want to understand when I get a looper call that I get that penetrator vertical to slow him down, all right, for my adjacent lineman, okay, and then I can snap off for the looper. So this is how we teach pass and penetrator, social distance wise. Same thing here. You'll watch this guy on the left. He's a tackle. I'm yelling looper. So he's going to pass the penetrator over and up, play long, and then snap off, sink, and accept. Now, he's a guard. He's better job flat on his set. I'm yelling at this guard because his hips are open, all right, which we talked about a second ago. But now this guy is money. He's square as can be. So we're in a really good situation to stuff that twist right there. Okay? So you can see pass the penetrator up, all right, snap off, sink, and accept on the looper. All right, and here's some rookies doing it. Pass the penetrator over and up. All right, and then snap. He's a center, so he's going to snap off flatter here. He's a tackle on some stuff, so he needs to get more vertical. And that was better by him to get a little more flatter on this side. He's the guy that was messing up earlier. But you can see looper, 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 over and up, boom, and then him snap. Now, what you don't want to do is open your hips like he's doing here, but he's just learning how to do it. All right, same thing, all 5 up again. We're going to watch the guy on the left. He's getting a looper. So this would be like if you're getting an E with a nose twist on the loop, an EN situation here, which, you know, are usually tougher twists to pick up. We're going to go post, looper, 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 snap off, sink, and accept. So you can see that right there. He's a Dayton, Ohio kid right there. But he's going to go post down flat, looper, looper, snap off, sink, and accept. All the other guys are rooks. They're just trying to figure it out, okay? But you kind of see how we do that. Now, if you are the other guy and you have the looper, okay, and your guy leaves earth, you want to track the looper, okay? Or if you're on the same level, we can bump it. But if we're on different levels, you have to trap the looper. So right here, we're working a 2-on-1 drill. This would be a guard on like a 3 tech. All right, going 1 step and jab, and you're getting an N with a T, an NT stunt, nose tackle stunt. All right, on the game here. Okay, so we're going to go 0 set on the 3, like we're on the man side of a protection. All right, get it. So our guy leaves earth. Now I'm yelling at him. You got to yell. You got 2 things to do. The minute your guy leaves earth, you're yelling looper as loud as you possibly can, and you're trapping the defender. All right, because we're on different levels. If you're on the same level and everything's freaking great, yeah, man, that's awesome. You can say, oh yeah, we're gonna vertical set this and just pass it off nice and easy. Yeah, that's good in coach talk. I mean, that's great. But the odds that those are actually happening are probably 25%. I'm just picking a number, but you know, I know 9 times out of 10 our guys aren't getting perfect twists now. Now you will if you go on 3rd down and, you know, all right, every 3rd down and medium you're getting T twist or EN. Well, you can now know on 3rd down we're always taking these sets. But if it's a 2nd down and they're not a big twist team and they decide to twist, your ass has still got to stop the twist. It's still your job. So we'll teach them that you got to learn how to yell looper. All right, when you got the looper guy, and we're going to trap, and that hip's got to come with you. This right hip is going to trap and come with me and trap that penetrator. All right, and we'll do another one here. So this would be like if you get a TE, I'm the right tackle, I'm going drag on the 3, setting the 5, drag, 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 looper, looper, looper. All right, it's not a perfect world. And if we say we short set the 3 on 2nd down, well, now I know we're on different levels. So it's not like you can go hip to hip and bump it off like it's easy. So now you got a short set on the 3, you got a drag set on the 5. You're on different levels just naturally if you're ever playing in that world. Well, the only way you can stop that, okay, is we go drag, all right, looper call, then I got to turn and I got to trap the 3. And that will then, when I trap that 3, that guard gets hit off to snap over on the loop on the 5. Okay, so what, you know, the big thing is when you're yelling loop, if you got the penetrator, you got to get hit off by the looper guy, by the tackle. So, and that way it'll hit you back in. So if there was a guard here setting him and he hits him, that's going to snap me off on the looper. All right, and so we want to make sure we're always working this 2-on-1 trap drill. Okay, so I want to trap that looper. All right, just for it's not going to always be a perfect situation. Like this is an ugly twist. We're working a twist drill here. I mean, it's ugly. I mean, this kid's a starter for us. This kid's trying to get in the rotation. It's a good job for us. Just learning how to play here. All right, so we go 2-on-1, 2-on-2, drag set, looper call, traps the looper, traps the penetrator here. Okay, now we're not square enough on it. Okay, now when you trap, you got to finish. You can't stop. You cannot stop. You know, he stops and it gives up some penetration. If he would have just kept driving through it, because we're on different levels, he would have been fine. All right, and to make sure he gets that hip through. All right, you got to get that inside hip through the defender. All right, but it's a decent job for their first time doing it together. They've never played together. Now the rest of the way out, I got a couple of little just different ways we set, and then I got a couple just some clips of games, and I'll get out of y'all's hair. So right here, teaching, you know, we got a 0 nose. We're in a man concept, teaching these centers how to settle set. When we settle, all right, we do that versus a 0 nose, okay, and you want to be square in your set, settle back off your instep to the heels of the guard, all right. Do not pick a side. You know, the one thing you never want to do at center, you don't want to pick a side here, because if you pick, all right, say I just pick a stagger, all right, he's going opposite every time. So that's the fastest way to get beat. So you want to settle back to the heels of the guard, square as I can be, All right, the D lineman will then pick a side, and you can just work your set off of that. And where if you go set now, stagger feet, he's crossing face right now, and you're going to be late. Okay, so we're going to go settle it back on our insteps underneath, all right, and play as square as I can. I don't really care as much as having a stagger here. I care more about playing down the middle of the man, all right, and working either a kick or re-kick concept, all right, and I want to be as square as I can in my set. All right, and the biggest thing is, you know, this guy kind of lost this one-on-one set at center late because he doesn't reset his hands quick enough and turns his hip instead of driving it out. All right, the minute that he starts going, that's got to come to a kick, and he didn't do that. He just started wrestling with him. All right, so right here we got another 2-on-2 concept, no twist. Young guy trying to figure. It's like his third day playing guard. Okay, this is an older tackle. I mean, you can see already the difference in confidence in your stance. I mean, you can literally tell the difference between a senior who's been playing and is confident in what he's doing, and the difference between a guard who just got here. I mean, in the stance, it's night and day. So we're gonna work a drag concept off this 4-eye to the 9 to the wide 5. Okay, I would either short set this or one set, depending on the situation. All right, if it's like a first or second down, we know we're not gonna get a big twist team. We can short it. All right, if it's third down situation, I want to one set this and long arm him, all right, and play square, and then we could handle a twist on the same level. All right, so you just got to know the situation. All right, but he short sets it, I believe here. Let's see. Short sets, all right, and you can see he's kind of just hanging on for dear life. He's double punching. All right, the tackle's going drag. All right, he needs to get his left hand up higher on the long arm. All right, but playing inside to wheel. All right, we should have just freaking baptized them right there and just destroyed them. We should have baptized them. We didn't. All right, but you kind of see the difference between an older guy and a younger guard just in terms of the whole confidence of the whole process. Right here, here's another settle. This is a freshman versus senior trying to figure it out. So he's going to go settle set. So the biggest thing with these settle sets too is you don't want to pull your hands up and strike like he did. Like our strike at center right here, we're in trouble. All right, what you want to do, you want to settle back, and then you want to play from underneath. So the first thing that nose is going to do, he's going to go hands through your chest. All right, so you don't have time to do this cock crap right here. You need to be settling back, and then set from underneath with underhooks. All right, and then you'll win inside hands right away, and it's over. He won this set because he has really good feet and played square. Now he got to the underhook late. You can see that right there, but he could have done that 3 steps before then. You know, if he would have brought his hands from underneath right away, it would have been over. But you can kind of see how he teaches some of these settle sets. All right, now we're working a one-on-one set with a long arm. He's going to long arm with his left. All right, and then he should go to a wheel on a one set. He's got not crazy. He's got like you have your tight shade 5. You got your wing tip off his arm, and then you got your loose concept, and then you got your wide concept. That's kind of how we do it. All right, so you got a little loose 5 here. You're going to go one set long arm. All right, now when we go for this long arm, I'm going for this outside breastplate. If you go down the middle with a long arm, you're going to lose. You're going to give a short edge. It's over. So when you go long arm, you got to get to the outside breastplate like he's doing here. Layer it with the inside arm. All right, I wish he was more square because if I'm a defender, I'm trying to get to this position so that I can't get you back on the post. So we're in trouble here because now we're turned. Okay, and the first thing this defender's going to do, he's going to get your hips turned to me, and then he's going to cross back because he knows you can't get to the post. All right, so we got to do a better job with that. But, he's got really good hands, and he gets to a wheel concept. He's really athletic. All right, but versus a really good player, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble there. All right, right here we're working, all right. He's more of a wingtip 3. He's not quite he's loose to wingtip, so we're going to go short set concept to stop his rush before it starts. Work lateral. All right, now the thing that he messed up was he didn't lever with his inside hand. So he went double punch. Well, when you go double punch and he goes back across, you ain't got a lever to stop it to pull you out on the post. So he recovered, he won, but I'm telling him, hey, yeah, man, you're winning your set, but your hands suck. So then we're going to really talk about his hands right off the get-go. Hey, man, if we're short setting here, you better throw a dang long arm and have your lever ready because you got to be able to stop the second move. He only thought about the first move. So in his plan, he didn't have the second move thought about at all. All right, but you can kind of see we go short set, All right, don't long arm it, so then we give up the lever on the inside. Now his feet are fine and he stays flat on the post, but it can still definitely be better. The biggest thing about how all this fits is, so when we work our protection, we're trying to create a dish. All right, so what that means is we want our tackles to set the width of the pocket and our middle three to set the depth of the pocket. All right, and the only way you can do that is if you know what the launch point is of where the quarterback is releasing the football. So whether it's like, hey, the quarterback's launch point 7.5, or hey, man, he dropped the 7.5, but he hitches up to 7. As an O-line coach and as an O-lineman, you got to know that. So our kids, when we build our protections, know, yeah, we want to create a dish, which means we're going to be pretty firm on the middle three. Everything we're doing, we're going to be firm. All right, but our tackles are going to be trying to angle set more to create width in the pocket. All right, and so we're trying to create, a dish. That's like the Callahan, McNally, all those guys. I studied all their stuff. I mean, this is, it's all from them. And we do the same thing. Chris Forster, too. We got a lot of stuff from him. He's with the Niners right now. But, they're trying to set a dish. And the only way you can do that is understanding your sets and where the launch point is. Okay, and so there's a difference between a drop point and a launch point. A drop point is, all right, what's the drop of the quarterback? A launch point is knowing, okay, he's dropping to 7.5 and knowing he's hitching up, so it might get a little shallow late or whatever it is. You need to know there's a difference between a launch point and a drop point, in my opinion. Okay, and so our guys know all of that stuff. So we'll jump into some 6-man drop back. Coach, am I good on this? We keep going?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, so, based on, situation, we will, if it's odd front, we can work a slide concept. We can work what we call cylinders, which is more of a man concept in a 6-man pro. So based on the front and based on what I want to do, I can change when we're a slide concept and when we're cylinder or a man concept. And I teach my center, week to week with when we do, or series to series. So like if you're like a, D-line coach or linebackers coach and you're scouting us and like, well, they're always sliding to the left. Well, it's not always slide. It's actually, it could be a man concept and that we're bumping off in man rules instead of slide rules. It's not the same thing. And, we will change that up week to week. So, one, whatever the best way to pick up the pressures we're seeing are and the movement we're seeing. But two, also, I don't want to be, I don't want to give everything away either. So we're going to have some different ways to do things. So right here, we're working cylinder reads. So we're working stack concept. Obviously, you probably know a lot about this stuff. You're working stack concept over here. So we're 2 for 2 and 2 for 2. You understand that. I know you do. So we're working stack concept. All right, double mic. So technically, you got two mic points. You got 35 and 5 that the O-line is responsible for. And then there's a world of concepts, too, of, all right, when do you want to handle the +1 defender if they're like a safety pressure team or when not, and how to teach the eyes. Like if he drops, who's got the other guy, or, what your hots you're building in for the quarterback, or, are you scanning the running back? There's so many ways you can do it. But right here, we're just working cylinders. So we're working our 5-tech cylinder with 30 to 35 and working our 0 cylinder to 5. Okay, so what I'm teaching is we go punch to chop. So our left tackle's got really good at his hand. He goes chop. All right, he does a really good job. And I don't like some of the stuff because he's sometimes not square to set, but he'll feel the pressure of the defender and know how to set them up and be with his butt to the quarterback to make sure he doesn't fall in. So he sometimes opens his hips on this stuff to make sure he's in position that the quarterback is, if he had to step up to this side or slide over, that he's positioned for him not to be in the way on the chop. And he does a lot of that. So he'll work him up, turn his hip and chop, all right, and then pin him down. The other thing we do is if you get a drop call, so if we get Sam drop, all right, we never want to leave the center by himself. As you can see, the center's in a terrible position right here. We got to go drop call with the guard, okay, to come back on it to get rib. So we go 5-tech chop to drop call with a running back cut. So you can kind of see that how that all plays out right here. We go 5-tech drop, all right, with right here on the drop call, you get the chop concept here, all right. Now, the only thing I really don't like, is our tackle. was in a good position. Then he turns. He doesn't need to turn right there. Our right tackle. He just needs to stay on his set. All right, and then lever it. Okay. Now he thought he was going to get a bull, I guess, so he was gearing for a bull, but he's still on his heels and his hips are too high, so he's not in great position here. All right. I'm going to have a couple of different things on here, just seeing some of the techniques we kind of just talked about. All right, this is against Concord. All right, so right now, the way this is actually played up, they stem their front, which, honestly, if you know your rules, so like, okay. All right, so say the slide's to the right here. Everybody knows they got 2 down backside. All right, so if they stem the front, everybody knows you still got the same people. It's not like it's some new innovative thing. Like, it's not a big deal. So everyone knows who they got. But we make a certain call that puts this side in man. Okay, so we'll fan it to the 11. We'll set the 4-eye. We'll settle the 0, and then we can duel the guard here, and we can man the tackle or fan it if we're getting a pressure. Okay, so we're going man call, because a lot of times we want to get our running backs out. Okay, and if you want to get the running back out, you can't always slide certain ways. You got to decide, okay, I want to man this, and you might have to go 1 for 2 over here, or 2 for 3, whatever your situation, to get that back out. You don't want to just like solid call it and you'll never get the back out. We like to get the back out, and if we think we're good enough to set and win some man sets, we want to continue to get them out. So we go drag set by the tackle on the left side to long arm. We go, let's see if he goes short or 1. He goes 1 set. All right, we need to get to the anchor, but we're square. All right, we go settle with a drop call. The only person in trouble is our right tackle here. We're in deep crap there. That's good. That's pretty decent, good, and good here. All right, we get enough time. We get the drop call to a knockdown. The thing what we did wrong on the right tackle, he went on the post. He kind of overset on the post, and that's what we were talking about earlier on some of that stuff. You got to understand, you got to stay down the middle, and you got to use you got to be able to bring your hands now, okay? Or if he's inside of me like he's here, you got a long arm with your left hand. All right, and then your right hand will bring you out. Where he went double punch, instead of using his right hand to pull him out on the set, he didn't have that, so he gave him a short edge here. All right, so if he would have struck with a long arm with his inside hand, he would have been in a good situation here. But, I mean, it still worked out, but it was just, ugly at the right tackle spot. Everyone else pretty decent. Okay. All right, right here we got color rule. So what our color rule is when we're teaching the slide, so right now, 48's the mic point to the slide side. We're sliding left. We're man side right. The really person we're only watching is the left guard. He's going to be a kick, hold, drag player. All right, and he knows right now this DN's got a 2-way go. Okay, so he's got to have eyes there the whole time or late. So he goes drag hand. He sees color. If there's color coming into my gap, we're going for ribs. We're trying to expand the pocket again. So right there, he's going to go for ribs, expand the pocket. Okay, to get rib shots. So he's seeing color. He goes eyes to near knee on the kick, hold, drag. Knee goes out. All right, but then he sees color late. All right, down the middle. So that tells him that's his gap. His gap goes to the tackle's nose to nose. So that means he's got to snap off and clean the pocket. Okay, right here we got a 6-man pressure pickup. Okay, so we're getting double edge. All right, now the thing I liked about this, everybody knows the rules. The running back knows his rules. Everybody's on the same page. We're getting double edge, all right, with the pirate stunt to the field, all right, and the tackle stays square to about 6, 7.5 yards back. So it's a decent job of the left tackle getting to the spot square, all right, and seeing the double edge. All right, the back knew where he's going. The right tackle went kick to post, saw the edge coming, so he now geared it down. I wish he didn't turn his hips. We should be square, and then we'll go to a flatter post, and that's where he's starting to get better at as he's getting older. He's young. And the left tackle's going kick square, all right, and then he's at past the quarterback's level, so he turned to go to a box out concept at left tackle here. All right, but we go 6 for 6 into the pressure, no issues. All right, right here we got, okay, track with the running back concept. We're getting pressure to the field. All right, minus backer, we mic'd it out. So if we had backside mic here, all right, we knew we were technically, in a world of everything 3 for 4. It's not great, okay? But you're also you're either way, one of the sides you're picking, you're 3 for 4. Okay, so we're 3 for 3 out to the left side. We see it. All right, we make an out pressure call to the field. All right, now the back has to know. Okay, and then we're man on the right side that he's got to track that all the way across. So he tracks it all the way across. Okay, so now we're 6 for 6 with the Mike cross dog here, tracked it all the way across to give us an extra hair of time. So the running back has to understand in protection. all right, that you have to track all of the IDs. It's not, you can't just pass off. So it's a really good job of the back to track it, to give us an extra hair time. All right. Now, this is what I call this an ugly molly call. So right here, if you're going man set on odd front to this boundary side because you got an extra hat. So we went 2 for 2. Running back made it 3 for 3 here. Sorry. We go 3 for 3 right there. We man set, drag the tackle, all right, and then we go 2 for 2 with the guard and tackle. Running back now knows 26 is the -1, his player, and then we can duel the left guard and get a drop call late, which is what happens here. So we get 2 for 2 with the center. All right, and everybody else is 3 for 3, gives a hair extra time. Like I said, the biggest thing is hips. We're opening our hips way too much. But you can see, based on rules, how we can use the back different ways where we get them out, keep them in, pick up whatever pressure we need. All right, have that world. Okay, right here we're getting 6-man pressure with a backside twist. All right, now this is what you want your twist to look like. We're staying on the same level. 3rd and 9 situation. Okay, know the down and distance. It's 3rd and 9, basically 3rd and goal here. However you want to slice it up. Okay, you're going to get some sort of game. We're getting game with double edge pressure. We pick up the pressure on the out to the slide side and then do a great job on the TE twist pickup here. We go drag set with the tackle, pass the penetrator with the guard, and snap off. And because we're on the same level, you don't have to looper call and trap it. You can looper call and just bump it with the tackle and left guard here. And you don't have to trap it, so you can just bump it off because they're on the same level. But they're bumping it off because they know on 3rd and 9 we're getting twist. So that changes the types of sets we're taking. All right, so we know how we can stay on the same level together. All right, that's a really good job of left guard and left tackle here on the twist pickup. All right, and the back knows that he's got to take the widest because we're also 3 for 3 in the slide. All right. Now, this is the one thing, we talk about fundamentally, if I get chest, take chest. So we get chest, we take chest. We're going to take chest to chop with the left tackle here. Take chest to chop. All right, now he'll try to protect the quarterback better than that as much as he can. All right, in terms of his hips, but he goes square set. All right, let's go. He goes wide short set, take chest to chop. All right, this is a guy from Notre Dame, University of Notre Dame transfer here, number 9. We short set him because he was a good pass rusher, so we changed our sets. So our tackle had to have the idea of when he could short set, when he needed to drag set, all right, and X off certain rushes. But he had really good with his hands. So he goes short set to chop to take chest here. And then we did like a 7-man chip concept to give us an extra hair of time to throw the tud. All right, this is some of our this is our younger guys playing. This is this spring here. We're going, really we're just teaching here how to do some of our different stuff we're doing. Working drag hands at the left guard on the 3 spike here. You got to go to a double concept and keep the eyes to 5. The minute that 3 goes in, my eyes got to go 5 to the ID here. Okay, our tackle's expanding the pocket, so we get a dish. So you can see the dish concept here. If we do a little bit better job gearing this bull rush down quicker, you can see how the dish, it's not a U. There's a lot of people that do a U and just vertical set the tackles. We angle set, which gives us a chance of a dish concept. So you can kind of see how that goes from here. All right, right here, here's another one. You'll see how the protection set. So we'll use the tight end, we'll get them out, and the thing, not about using tight ends or fullbacks or wings or whatever, the DNs have to respect some of that. So we're going slide left here, expand the edge. So you still kind of see how the dish concept is working. Now, sometimes if you get a heavy speed rush, it looks like a messed up dish, but you still always have a dish to the other side on the slide side. All right, but you're getting dish concept, okay, right here. All right, with a double man side to the right. So you'll go dish to the left. We're gonna work mid sets to the left on the slide. All right, the center needs to keep his eyes to the left. Okay, now he doesn't need to drag. He can't really drag hand, kick or drag on the 2-eye here. So he needs to be thinking more 3 to the mic here. All right, and the mic's out of the A gap, so you got to be alert if the mic is out of the A gap for any defensive line movement. But right here, you kind of see what we're playing longer as we can. We're playing physical. The guard and the tackle are trying to play long, and the center gets his back late. He just needs to do a better job of staying on the side, not worrying about the backside nose here. Trust the guard next to him on the long arm. As you can see, 61 flat now on the post. The right tackle needs to play longer with his right hand. He's dropping his right hand too much. All right, but he's got good feet all the way through it, but his hips need to be more square. right here, you can see it's another 6-man deal. We're going 6-man pressure, 3-man, 4-man slide, really in terms of that talk, but it's, the right guard's man all the way on the nose, all the way back. What you see, we're working 3 in the slide. The biggest thing is too, we're not striking, we're double punching, which is why we're in trouble and turn our hips. He is going to the chop, and we are working together in the slide, but we're still getting the pocket closed in because of the right tackle right now. All right, right here, you're going, we had a twist. We knew he was dropped. We saw a lot of this, and we just didn't waste it right on day one in fall ball stuff. So we just said we're going to leave it on, not change the protection. All right, we get, an aggressive, tackle slows it down. He thought we were getting some type of movement, so he slowed his feet down, passes the twist off. He needs to snap off quicker. All right, on the looper concept, he gets it, but he needs to snap off quicker. And the other thing, the right guard does a really good job of cleaning out the pocket here late on the late 5 pinch on the fall in. Okay. See, I got a couple more, and we'll get out of here. So right here, we're going, slide set side to the right. We're getting base to the left side. Okay, getting kick hold drag from the guard. You want to kick hold drag that way faster. Right there, that hand's got to come way faster. All right, we're stacking our feet at right tackle. We're in trouble. Okay, but we're getting extra help by the right guard. He sees it late, knocks him out the club. Okay, and we're doing a good job at left tackle here on the drag set to the chop, and then just gears it down with his body. All right, right here, like I said, you're gonna see late color by the 5 tech, and the right guard really using his eyes late and where they're supposed to be. All right, right here, we got some puppies and older guys in here playing together. We're getting dish. You can see the dish is starting to look up. All right, we're keeping a wide pocket for the quarterback. The biggest thing is that right tackle. Just like I said, he's turning his hips 1 step too early. We're getting square to the slide side. The left tackle's pretty decent here till late. All right, but he's getting pretty much the quarterback depth, so he turned his hips late and giving the quarterback time to just rip it. But you can kind of see how the slide is working, and we're trying to set the depth with firmer sets. Okay, and that's kind of how all the techniques we've worked, when you can kind of see them on film. We're going drag set here, man side left, slide right, drag 3 to 5 here. Okay, we work it down on the post. All right, and we're getting slide to the right with late color here. The right guard's going to come off late. See it? Boom. He's going to get a piece of him because he's still responsible for that gap no matter when it is. Okay, so he goes late color rule. Okay, he has good eyes. The right guard had really good eyes all year. You can see it here. He snaps off late. Boom. He would have to snap his hip open on a full speed concept there. All right, real quick, last protection. We go 5-man drop back. You got more of a man world here. So right here, we hold the center back. All right, which means he's going to get back in the world. He's got a backer read concept to a man help. Okay, and he's working help from B gap in. Okay, so he's going to go drag. All right, he's going to go settle. At center into the hole. If the tackle gets beat or the guard gets beat, we're inside out on that, which is what he's doing here to firm up the pocket. The biggest thing is here though, the left tackle goes drag, quick drag. We call it a quick drag to a short. All right. So if we got twist here, he would have felt it on the TE. You see him dragging his right hand, and then he jumps it. It's called a quick drag. He and I kind of worked it because we do some aggressive protections, and we want to change up our rushes on these DNs. So we go quick drag, long arm, okay. And then the biggest problem with that left guard, he's never passed it in his life, is that he's not moving his inside foot. He's just hinging. He needs to pop it and bring his feet with him. All right, the right guard's doing a pretty good job here on getting down, long arm it and gearing it down. All right, in the center, we should have just stepped up just a hair right there and just trusted it and thrown it, because these protections are built to trust it, and step up and throw it and not expand, all right, and run outside. It's built to be, it's a step up concept, not a scramble wide concept. So everything you want to do with this protection is a step up world. So that way you see that it's a place to step up here. It's not good to scrum because then we don't know where the quarterback is. All right, as you can see right there, that's why 50 got in there late. Now, don't get me wrong, our quarterback he can run wherever, so I don't say a word about it, but that's just what the difference between the protections. All right, we're going 5-man protection, whole concept, there's no pressure, so then the center just helps on the guard here to get an extra double team late. All right, and then we go drag. Oh, he doesn't drag. He goes short on the 5, okay, to chop. All right, and then we're swooping at right. The right tackle is swooping the hand to reset, and he just needs to get to a hop quick. I just wish he was a little more square, but he does go swoop to reset. All right, and then you can see the young right guard just fighting his tail off. I'll take it. I wish he just would have. He doesn't really need to get that much width on the post. He needs to go what we call soft post. All right, and just kind of just take a hair smidge of ground inside to get nose to nose. He doesn't need to step heavy inside. He needs to go nose to nose because he's almost a head up two. He's a 2-eye to a 2. All right, and we should just soft post that so that we can make him come down the middle instead of giving him a two-way go when we do that crap. All right, so we kind of screwed ourselves there. All right, last couple deals. The thing that this one is right here. So the only reason I put this in, pass pro isn't passive again. The right tackle gets beat. The right guard sees it, all right, and then he's going to then displace the entire pocket. So he's going to go drag, displace, all right, and firm up the whole pocket. The minute that 4-eye beat the tackle and he came in, he's going to then throw him into the whole pocket and then move the pocket, So I gave him double pluses for that, because that's just as good as a freaking knockdown. He moves the entire pocket right here. Now, if we were getting because our tackle took the wrong set, he gets beat. All right, so we couldn't duel the guard, and so he had to displace everything. So it's a really good job going drag and set like we worked earlier with him. And you can see he does a little bit better job with his feet. And he's able to create power back and get his base back that he can go and displace everything. Okay, last thing is you're going to see drag sets here. We're going to get a fan call to the left side over here, double fan here. And that tells the guard now he's got to go drag and read. It's a 5-man pro, backs out. So we go drag, read, and pop. I don't do this that much. All right, but we're going to go drag with a fan call. And that tells us that if he gets that fan call, he's got to now read 5 to 35. All right, and that tells us now our hot would be the extra man. Whoever else comes is a hot. But we will pop around. We don't do this a lot. It's only for certain situations, but we will do that some.